Hey everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 2 of these Octagon treat fronts that I'm sharing with you. Hey, so today I am using the Elfin Holiday Tag along with Humbug 3 and our Octagon Dies Christmas Add-ons 1 and our Octagon Treat Box Dies. And I went ahead and I made the little elf with the elf body and the Santa body in a previous video. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut out, or I made an A2 size card base, and I'm going to show you how I get a shape card with it. So I've got the little octagon die hanging over my folded cut edge. So if you can see that. And then I run it through my die cutting machine, which is my Gemini machine. And you'll see that now I've got a little card shape. I'm just going to, because you run it through 2 layers, you get kind of some little hangers on of pieces of fluff there. So I run a little sanding sponge along the edge. Now I'm going to add a second die that I cut out over top. So now you have a full front of that die shape. Because remember, the other part of the die was hanging over the fold, so it's not the full die. And I want to have the support behind my image. And then I'm going to quickly stick down my Santa body onto this little card front. And how easy is that? You've got a little shaped card. Like, so cute and easy stuff. And if you want to see me make that that little, what's it called? The little Christmas add-on front, the Octagon treat front, you can go check out my previous video. I've got a video of me making 9 of them. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside of this little card using my Misty. And I'm using those Misty, I think they're called magic corners, just to make sure the stamp is straight. I've got my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the inside of this card from that Humbug 3. There we go. And how cute is that? And that is, I'm not sure if I said, but that's paper tray ink white cardstock that I used for my card base. It's kind of my go-to for card bases. There we go. Santa looked you up online and you're getting coal this year, which is kind of fun, right? So now I'm going to show you how I go ahead and I make a shape card. I'm going to build a full-sized elf for this one. And I went ahead and I did partial die cutting, and I hung the die over the edge, and I cut from the bottom and then from the top down. And then I will trace that Octagon treat die just to get the cut lines in between. And then I'm just going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut in between those 2 shapes that I cut. There we go. Because because this doesn't really come as a full background, like a full die, I've got to create my own. So that's what I'm doing. There we go. And like, it's really pretty easy. So now you've got a shape, but I'm going to add a full shape on the top because I want that support behind the rest of the elf head. So you'll see that's what it's going to look like. See, and there's a hangover. So I'm going to stick another piece of that octagon die on the top. I always do this when I do partial die cutting to make a shaped card front. I make sure that I've got a nice solid piece of cardstock behind it. So you've got that full piece of die cut that you've used, all the way up to the top. So there we are. I just trim off anything that's showing in case I made any boo-boos there. Perfect. And now I've got a little shape card that stands up, which is fun. And now I will add on the little body first. There we go. Adding that on to my little elf. He's so cute. I just love these dies from Jaded Blossom. The Octagon Treat Box dies and the Octagon add-ons are just amazing. They're so darn cute. Look how cute that is. It's like perfect. There we go. Adorable stuff. So I'm going to use the word bubble dies here, and I'm actually going to use the stamp set Elf Wishes. I changed my mind. And I'm going to stamp, I went and cut out one of those word bubble dies with the paper tray ink white cardstock again. And I'm just going to quickly stamp my sentiment onto that word bubble die. So, easy stuff, like I said. And I like to kind of keep the outside of the die cut just so I can line up my sentiment in there and make sure it's perfect. There we go. And I'm just lining it up using my little magnets and everything and making sure everything's straight, Because, you know, if you're going to stamp on this, you want to make sure everything's straight. Now, you could have fixed this by stamping your sentiment first and then cutting it out. But because I'm using VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink, that takes a bit to dry. And I'm kind of, I'm impatient. I kind of want to get things going. So I'm just going to use that Simon Says Stamp grid acetate, and I'll slip it in behind and make sure everything's straight and even. So when I stamp it in the center, I'm making sure I stamp it perfectly. So that's what I'm going for here. There we go, just taping it in place using some mint scrapbook.com tape, and I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. There we go. How cute is that? So there we go, Elf Wishes and Candy Cane Kisses. So I think it's a perfect little sentiment. So now I will quickly pop up that sentiment onto my little elf using 3M foam tape. And you'll notice that when I put this elf together on that previous video, I literally just stuck everything down. I did add some chalk blending on the cheeks, but I will kind of zhuzh this image up a little bit, both of them up a little bit, using some other things. And you kind of want to do that to your die cuts, make them look a little bit more special. There we go, adding my little word bubble. And how cute is he? I just think he turned out so cute. There we go. So now I'm going to stamp on the inside, and this is like a little tongue-in-cheek one. And that will be using the Elfin Holiday Tag stamp set. There we are, and I'm just going to freehand stamp it in the center using an acrylic block. I've got a little piece of foam underneath just to make sure I get a clear image. There we go. And that says Happy Elfin Holiday, which is kind of fun stuff, right? Kind of don't expect it on the inside of this innocent looking elf. So now I'm pulling out my Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle pen, and I'm just going to be adding some sparkle to some of the items. So I'm going to add sparkle to the Santa buckle on the belt, just making sure it's running well. And you kind of can't tell on this video, but it's very sparkly. There we go. I want to add a little bit of sparkle to his little belt buckle. It's so cute. There we are. How cute is that? Just trying to show you the sparkle. It's kind of hard to show you, but it's there, trust me. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my elf. I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to his belt buckle. So cute. There we go. I used Doodlebug's gingham linen and the rainbow petite prints for that green check, along with Doodlebug matching cardstock for the green, which was kind of fun. Now I'm going to glitter up his little eyes. Just trying to make sure I've got a lot of glitter on there because, you want it to show up. You want to shake this pen well and get it going. And there we go. You don't want to make sure it's running cleanly too. You don't want it to come and glop out because you got to be careful about that. You don't want to squeeze that center area of the pen too much. Now I'm glittering up the little bell on his hat, and then I'm taking out my glossy accents, and I will put glossy accents on the belt just to add a little bit of shine, make this a little bit more special because the front of this little Santa body card is kind of plain. So I want to, and the sentiment's on the inside. So I want to kind of, make it a little bit more special, right? By adding some details. So that's what I'm doing here. Adding a little bit of gloss, and that seals in the sparkle. That's kind of a trick. I can't remember where I learned it, but probably from Amy Rysavvy from Prairie Paper and Ink, Amy R. She's also known as. And now I'm going to do the same thing, add some glossy accents to my elf. There we go. It really makes it glittery in the end. Now I've got my Spectrum Noir number 10, or not Spectrum Noir, my, what's it called again? My Secure White Jelly Roll pen in number 10, added some highlights, and there you go. How cute is that? I think they turned out adorable. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to check out my old video if you didn't see me create the original items. And be sure to come back in the next few days because I'll be having more videos with these card fronts. I think 6 more. Anyways, thanks everyone. See you soon in my next video. Bye-bye.